Prince William has long carried the weight of expectation, but lately he's revealing a version of himself that feels worlds apart from the formal, tightly scripted royal image we've grown accustomed to. The era of perfectly staged interviews, with aides lingering nearby and reporters bound to pre-approved questions, seems to be fading away. In its place, we see William in his own element, speaking openly, walking his dog, sharing a laugh in a pub, and perhaps most unexpectedly, sitting down for a relaxed conversation with Eugene Levy, the Hollywood actor beloved for his comedic roles. It's a bold and deliberate move, one that signals real change. This isn't King Charles's monarchy, and it's certainly not Queen Elizabeth's either. It's William beginning to draft his own vision for the future. What stands out isn't just who he chose to talk to, but how he did it. He acknowledged something few royals ever admit, that family life can be stressful. It's not the kind of admission you'd expect from someone raised in palaces and castles, where perfection has always been the default. By opening up about the pressures of home life, William instantly came across as more relatable, more contemporary, and more human than the monarchy has traditionally allowed. The setting, his Windsor home, rather than a grand palace room filled with cameras and briefing notes, helped him do exactly that. He wasn't confined by protocol. He was relaxed, natural, and entirely himself. He was at ease, almost casual, and that authenticity came through in every word. This shift matters because it's about more than presentation or polish. It's a signal to the next generation that the monarchy doesn't intend to remain locked in the past. William's focus on issues like homelessness and mental health has already proven he's determined to redefine the royal role, turning it from ceremonial to socially meaningful. Even his choice of interviewer underscores that message. Rather than sitting down with a hard-hitting journalist armed with difficult questions, he opted for someone outside the establishment, a veteran actor he respects, best known for portraying the patient, slightly exasperated father in much-loved comedies. It wasn't a PR maneuver. It was a statement that he's confident engaging with the entertainment world, not as a royal stepping into foreign territory, but as someone who understands its power, its influence, and its ability to reach people, all while maintaining the dignity of the crown. Contrast that with Harry and Meghan's leap into Hollywood after stepping away from royal life. Their move was widely viewed as turning their backs on tradition to chase celebrity, a gamble that has yet to pay off. Fame in Hollywood isn't guaranteed just because you once lived in Buckingham Palace. William, on the other hand, doesn't need to knock on doors. When he calls, people answer. Not because he's seeking attention, but because he's quietly redefining what modern royalty looks like. He doesn't need to fight for relevance. He already is relevant. And he's showing that he knows exactly how to use that influence, thoughtfully and with purpose. Meanwhile, Catherine, Princess of Wales, doesn't need to make grand declarations on camera to leave her mark. She plays an equally vital role in shaping the image of a grounded, modern royal family. Watching her visit RAF personnel and their loved ones, gracefully walking down steep stairs in heels, steady and composed, you see someone who makes the impossible look effortless. She rarely needs to speak at length. Her presence says it all. That quiet confidence, that polished grace, the warmth paired with discipline. Together, they remind the public that this royal couple has mastered the balance between duty and authenticity. All of it sends a clear and deliberate message. William is preparing the monarchy to evolve, breaking free from suffocating tradition without discarding the rituals that still hold meaning. Coronations, jubilees, remembrance ceremonies, they'll always have their place, but surrounding them will be a new kind of energy, one that celebrates openness, relatability, and even a hint of humor. It's a monarchy that doesn't just guard history, it's actively creating it right before our eyes. And the more you examine William's choices, the clearer it becomes. Every move is both deliberate and natural. He's not arranging photo ops for easy headlines. He's quietly dismantling the notion that royalty must exist behind glass, distant, untouchable, and confined. When William strolls into a pub to chat with Eugene Levy or rolls up on a scooter to meet him, it isn't just playful symbolism. It's a deliberate statement that his future reign won't be bound by ceremony for ceremony's sake. He's showing that leadership doesn't have to feel distant, that the crown can be worn with comfort and authenticity rather than rigid formality. What makes this shift even more compelling is the contrast with King Charles and Queen Elizabeth. For decades, their public images were tightly managed, protected by layers of advisors, scripted remarks, and a deep caution shaped by centuries of tradition. William, on the other hand, embraces the unpolished. He doesn't hide the stress that comes with family life. He laughs about American Pie movies. He speaks with genuine curiosity about the everyday challenges people face. This evolution, from royal as symbol to royal as human, marks a true turning point. It's precisely what makes him resonate with younger generations who prize honesty over formality. That doesn't mean he's discarding the crown or its responsibilities. Those close to him describe how he's already examining the Duchy of Cornwall with surgical ideological focus, asking why things are done a certain way and refusing to accept because that's tradition as a valid reason. It's a clear sign he's not content to simply inherit a system. He intends to rebuild it, reshaping it into something that delivers real social impact. Whether he's channeling funds into sustainable ventures or ensuring that his projects on homelessness and mental health deliver real, measurable results, William is showing he intends to run the monarchy like a modern institution, not a relic of the past. And the ripple effects are impossible to miss. Courtiers long accustomed to decades of sameness now find themselves working with a prince who isn't afraid to challenge established routines. He asks questions. He pushes for innovation. He refuses to be confined by the invisible fences that once defined palace life. While some traditionalists may bristle, others see it for what it is, a breath of fresh air. Because a monarchy that clings too tightly to the past risks fading into irrelevance. But one that evolves, that speaks the language of the present, ensures its survival. Of course, in the background of all this, there's the shadow of Harry and Meghan. Every move William makes seems to underline their missteps. Where they tried to build an identity in Hollywood and found themselves struggling for credibility, William is seamlessly blending modern culture into the monarchy itself without ever stepping outside it. He doesn't have to leave the crown to feel current or connected. His relevance comes from the fact that he's transforming the institution from within, making it more human and accessible. That contrast quietly but unmistakably adds pressure for Harry, who now watches his brother become everything he once said he wanted to be: independent, authentic, modern, and heard. And for Meghan, that reality is even more complicated. The more William transforms the monarchy into something progressive and relatable, the harder it becomes for Meghan to claim that royal life was too rigid for her to thrive. William is proving that it can evolve, and in doing so, he's quietly dismantling the argument that stepping away was the only path to authenticity. The irony is unmistakable. She left to embrace the entertainment world, yet William is merging royal life and cultural relevance effortlessly from within the palace walls. And with that, the spotlight naturally drifts toward him, leaving the Sussexes struggling to reclaim their footing. The vision of the future monarchy is coming into focus, and it's far less stiff, far more human than the version Britain has known for generations. William has no interest in wearing the crown as a museum piece. He's shaping it into a living instrument, something that connects with people where they actually are. His determination to do things differently, whether it's choosing unconventional interviewers, challenging how royal finances are handled, or admitting that family life can be stressful, sends a clear signal. The next era will be defined by openness and adaptability. He isn't rejecting tradition, but he refuses to let tradition become an excuse for stagnation. And the balance he and Catherine strike makes this transformation even more compelling. While William pushes boundaries in how he leads and communicates, Catherine represents the calm precision that reassures those uneasy about too much change. Together, they bring both familiarity and freshness, a balance of discipline and humanity. Catherine's grace at public events, her ability to exude composure while genuinely connecting with everyday people, perfectly complements William's openness and modern outlook. It's more than a marriage. It's a precisely aligned partnership that strengthens the monarchy's stability while allowing it to evolve. And the wider royal family can't ignore the ripple effect. Staff who once leaned on precedent now find themselves answering to a future king who isn't afraid to ask why. Courtiers long guided by the phrase, "That's how it's always been done," are realizing that such explanations no longer suffice under William's watch. Even traditional ceremonies, coronations, remembrance services, jubilees will endure, but with a renewed sense of purpose and a personal touch that reflects William's forward-thinking mindset. It will remain the monarchy, but no longer one trapped under the weight of its own history. This evolving vision also places Harry and Meghan in an increasingly difficult position. William is showing how the institution can adapt from within, using its legacy and influence to stay relevant without discarding its foundations. That makes the Sussexes' decision to walk away seem less like bold reinvention and more like retreat. Their ongoing attempts to build a Hollywood identity appear increasingly uncertain beside William's effortless blend of royal duty and cultural resonance, a mix that feels authentic, steady, and lasting. Harry may already realize that his only real path back to lasting relevance runs through his brother. Yet that door seems to narrow a little more with each passing day. What's most striking is how intentional William has been in shaping his legacy long before the crown ever rests on his head. He's setting expectations early, making it unmistakably clear that when his moment comes, the monarchy won't just be inherited, it will be reimagined. Through his embrace of relatability, his insistence on accountability, and his focus on causes that speak to everyday lives, William is crafting a vision of kingship that feels less like a relic of empire and more like a living, breathing force for relevance. The crown may be ancient, but in William's hands, it's being polished into something